Hi, I'm Brooke Delgado, and this is my weekly unemployment update. I was let go from my job back in mid-March, right when the COVID pandemic was hitting hard in Colorado. Schools had already been closed, and it was just before they closed all of the restaurants and retail locations here in Colorado. So I've had a struggle finding work, and I've applied for over 100 jobs. I've had countless number of interviews, but I feel like I'm getting close to something. Next week, I have 2 final interviews, and both of those interviews are with multiple people from the leadership team. I'm talking 2, 3, 4-hour interviews where I meet with anywhere from 3 to 5 people at a time. So next week, I'm going to talk to you about how I prepare for those types of interviews and just a couple of tips and tricks that I learned along the way from having interviews like that in my past. So stay tuned for next week on that topic. This week, I want to talk to you about 2 things. So I had the foster girls last week. They were ages 6 and 7, and we watched a movie almost every night. And one of the movies we watched was Trolls World Tour. And it was such a good movie. But what I learned at the end of that movie was that the way that they depicted all of the trolls' worlds, there was a world dedicated to rock. There was country music, there was pop music, techno music. So there's 6 different worlds, troll worlds out there, and they all kind of stuck to their own groups. And I likened it to cultures. So you have a Latin American culture, you have an American culture, you have a European culture, an Australian culture, an African culture. So the theme and the moral of the story was that all cultures can unite and harmonize and live cohesively. And I thought, oh my gosh, if our society and world just adapted the moral of the story of Trolls World Tour, I think we would solve a lot of the world's problems. That's not likely or realistic, because people have opinions and they have their own perspectives, and some cultures aren't willing to live cohesively with other cultures. But I thought that was just a really good movie and a moral to the story. So if you get a chance to watch Trolls World Tour, I recommend it, even if you're an adult. The second thing I wanted to talk about was I got a message from a young girl in California, and she had stumbled across my video, and she reached out to me, and one of the questions she asked was, why are you doing these videos? And I don't know if I've ever addressed this in my weekly videos, but I started doing this as a way for me to cope with not having a job while being quarantined and living with anxiety and depression. I've lived with depression since I was 16 years old. I've been on and off medication, and anxiety hit me in my early 20s, and I still struggle with anxiety today. I have specific triggers, and being unemployed and having to be by yourself was a disaster for depression and anxiety. And I did this because I needed something to look forward to. I needed something that was going to hold me accountable. And I did this really as a self-serving, how can I help myself? But also, will my story and experiences help anyone else that's watching these videos? And the answer is yes to both. I've had a few people reach out to me to comment on my videos, and it really motivates me to keep going and talk about something, whether it's job searching or whether it's just what I learned that week. I hope that someday I have the courage to tell my own mental health story. I don't know when or if that will happen. It's something that's been on my heart for several years, and it's something that I want to do. And the start of me doing that is being open about me having mental health struggles. And if I can say that out loud, I can grow to be comfortable in telling my story somewhere in the future. So thank you all again for continuing to watch these videos and giving me ideas to talk about. I don't have any new book updates right now. I'm kind of catching up on some podcasts I've missed. Some podcasts I listen to regularly are Modern Love, Black in the Middle, and Business Casual. Those are 3 of my favorites. I also listen to the Nutrition Diva. They're very short snippets on Nutrition Diva. So I'm kind of catching on some podcasts before I delve into some more books, but I will have more book recommendations for you next week. Thank you. Have a great 4th of July. Bye.